Good morning everyone, welcome to the second video of the channel. My name's Cooper of Cooper's Mobile Mechanics. Hopefully you watched the first video, hopefully you liked it. If you didn't, maybe go back and have a look. Give it a like and a comment while you're there. Basically what I'm doing is filming a few jobs that I do as a mobile mechanic throughout the day. Just showing you sort of routines, diagnostic routines, routines of how to carry out jobs, basically just everything that I do during the day really. So the first one we've got on today is this Vauxhall Vivaro. A couple of faults really. So to start off with, just put the ignition on there. So we've got the van in reverse. He's got no reverse lights. Come and have a look here. No lights on there. Also the parking sensors aren't working either. What we've also got on the dashboard, we've got a fault here saying check the hill start assistance, and we've also got stop start fault on there as well. So we're just going to have a look. Hopefully they're related, but we'll go through and have a look. So to start off with, I'm just looking on the live data. So you can see here, reverse gear engaged, no. So we're in neutral at the minute. If I put it into gear, it should come up saying yes, but it's not. So it's obviously not, the control module is not picking up the signal that it's been put into reverse. While I'm here, I just want to have a look at a couple of other things as well. Just see if there's anything else that's not working that might be linked. Things like the clutch pedal. So at the minute my foot is on the clutch, so it is saying there end of travel switch is pressed, which is good. If I release it, I'm going to release there, so it's saying it's pressed. It's at the start of the travel switch, so that's working as it should be. Press it down again, that's all okay. Brake pedal switch, so my foot is off the brake pedal at the minute. Yeah, and if I put the pedal down, it's saying press, so that's all working. The reason I'm just looking through there is just to see if there's anything linked. So at the minute the fault is sort of directed at the reverse light switch, but if there was anything else linked as well, anything else that's not working, like the clutch sensor or the brake pedal sensor, if they weren't working either, then it might be something else that's sort of linked. So maybe a fuse that is used for both of those switches, or a control module fault, or a wiring fault, if that makes sense. So it's just a good way of good thing to do really, good practice, looking through live data and just having a look at other things that may not work as well, even though the customer may not have noticed it or flagged it up as a potential fault. Just have a look and see if there's anything linked. It'll just help your diagnosis, just help you travel down and find the right path, basically. So it's all sorted. Was going to film while I was sort of diagnosing it, but to be honest I forgot. So what I found, that fuse there, that one there that you can see I've changed, there's a 5 amp fuse that goes to the switch, and I found the fuse had blown. So I put a new fuse in it, tested the reverse switch again, put the car into reverse, and the fuse popped again. So then I went to go and look at the switch itself. So down here is where the switch is located, just down there where you can see that blue plug. So I load tested the wiring going to the switch, which was all okay. Now I did bring a new reverse light switch with me, so I've swapped that over, put a new fuse in it again, and everything is all okay. So now if we check the live data, if I put it into reverse, it's now saying it's engaged. Hopefully you can hear the rear parking sensors working as well, and then we'll just double check at the back, make sure the lights are coming on. So yeah, we can see we've got the reverse lights are now on, and if we just double check inside as well, just make sure those faults have gone. We've no longer got the stop start and the hill assist faults on. Just got a service that's needed, so I'll recommend that to the customer. But yeah, all sorted. Right, so a bit of a change of plan today. I've just gone to my second job, and because of the weather, I'm not going to be able to do it. There's basically the customer is a builder, so he's on his Caddy to do 2 lower arms and a service. But I just got there, and it's cold and it's raining, so they're not able to do the work because of the weather. They can't do any bricklaying. So when I got there, he said they were probably only going to be there for about an hour, which the job I'm going to be doing is going to take longer than that. So what I'm going to do instead, I've just got to my other job on this Polo, and then I've got a Renault Clio later on that I was just going to go and have a look. She's got some brakes she wants doing, but she's not for sure if it's front or rear or disc and pads or just pads on its own. So what I was going to do was just measure those brakes, have a look, see what it needs, and then get that booked in for Wednesday. But I think what I'm going to do instead is do the Caddy on Wednesday, and then if I can do these brakes, measure them up and actually do the job today, then it won't really be, it's not the end of the world really then, is it? It's just shuffling jobs around. So yeah, just got to the next job. Just a couple of bits on a Volkswagen Polo that I had a look at last week. So yeah, I'll show you what I'm doing. So this Polo, came to have a look at it last week. It's been sat for a little while, but they're getting the car ready for their son who's learning to drive. So they just wanted a quick check over, just see if it was sort of roadworthy for him. But while I was here, I noticed the bonnet. You can't open the bonnet. So when you try and pull the handle, it's really stiff. But also the handle itself is missing the clip here, falls off quite easily. So with these, the lock at the front under the bonnet, that tends to seize up. Sometimes what happens, if you really yank on it, you can either completely break the handle or the cables break. So we're going to change the lock, and I'm going to put a new handle on it because it's missing the clip. But the cable should be okay because we haven't sort of got to the point. It doesn't feel slack or anything like that. So hopefully the cable should be fine. It's just a case of changing the lock before it gets to that point. So to get these bonnets open when they're stuck, they can be quite tricky. But this is the way that I do it anyway. So I've got the under tray off. Looking from underneath, you can see the cable there. That's the bonnet cable, and then it will go run along the side, and there's a join piece. So you've got essentially got 2 cables. You've got one on the front, and then it joins here, and then you've got one that goes to the handle. So you're kind of all doing it by feel because you can't really see what you're doing, but you want to try and unhook where it joins here. I'll try and unhook it, and then you can get the cable, and you can usually get a pair of grips on the cable and give it a real tug, and that should open the bonnet. So I'm going to give that a go. Right, so we're in finally. That wasn't easy at all. So you've got to kind of get to it from underneath, but you can see there's not a lot of room, and you're doing it blind. So this is the first cable that I was talking about. That's the one that you kind of need to pull to get it open. Now that attaches here. See, it joins here, and then that is clipped on underneath like that. So you're essentially working blind. You've got to kind of unclip that to get to here. There's a cover that you've got to take off, and then get the cable out from there. But like I say, you're kind of doing it blind. But we're in now, so I'm going to change this lock, get it all swapped over, get the new handle on, and then yeah, should be good to go. The new lock is in now, all bolted up, secured back on here, and the handle's on. I've put it's a genuine unit from TPS that I've put on. Obviously there are aftermarket parts that you can put on. You see quite a lot on eBay. But personally, with these, I always put a genuine one on. just personal preference really, because I have been out to a couple of customers who have had this issue and said, oh, it won't be the lock because that got replaced somewhere else a year or two ago. I've got there and it's completely seized up after only a year or two. So yeah, I always put a genuine one on, just peace of mind. I know it's going to be good then. So before shutting the bonnet, what I'm going to do, I've latched it over there, and I'm just going to test to make sure it works, because the last thing I want to do is shut the bonnet and then find out that I can't open it again, and then go do the job sort of all over again, get my arms up. So yeah, I just want to test it first before shutting the bonnet. So I've latched it over and just want to pull it. Should hear it clicking. If not, I can just go and check, make sure it has opened. If I pull this, yeah, hopefully you heard that. You can hear the click of the latch opening, so it should be good to put it all back together now. Right, so moving on to the back. Oh, it's got an exhaust back box to replace. You can see it. It's all moving around, knocking around on the rear subframe. There should be a bracket here that goes into the mount, but that's broken off. I think by the looks of it, he put a Jubilee clip on just as a temporary measure. So we've got a new back box to fit on, and it looks like, so the exhaust itself goes all the way down there to the middle, but the new back box comes to about here. So I just need to butt it up and find out where it goes to, cut it, and then join it up. So I'm just going to do that now. So we've cut that off. The tool I used for it was, rather than using an angle grinder, I used to have one of these years ago. It's a really good tool, but I don't know, I lost it, or I don't know where it's gone. So I got myself a new one last week. It's a Draper one. It's basically just it's got links all in it, with these little sort of cutters on. And the idea is you just wrap around the exhaust and just work it backwards and forwards, and it cuts it. And it's done the job, but they were quite blunt. It took a little while, to be fair. They were quite blunt. I had to finish off with the grinder, but yeah, it's not done a bad job. Just file down the edges, I think, just so they're not so rough, and get the new exhaust on. That's the exhaust in now. I've just got the engine running, just make sure there's no leaks before I leave. But yeah, I'm happy with that. So it's Wednesday today. So the previous job, that was on Monday. Sorted that Polo out. I went to go and check the brakes on the Renault Clio. Needed front and rear disc and pads. Both front and rear discs, they're below the minimum spec, and they're all badly corroded. So I've priced it up for her. I was hoping to do it on the day, but she said she needs to have a look at funds, basically, see if she can either do it this month or next month. So called it a day on Monday. So I'm just at my first job on Wednesday morning, so I'll show you what we've got going on. So we've got it's an Audi A4 2-litre TFSI. It's got the engine management light on, and drive system fault on the front. I've had a look, see what fault codes we've got going on. It's just the one fault, the turbocharger actuator, saying mechanical fault. So I've had a look for any technical bulletins. That's usually my first thing that I do when it comes to diagnosis, just to save time really. Sometimes you might get a fault, you might spend an hour or so looking into it, finding out what it is, and then check and find that there's a technical bulletin, and you could have saved yourself an hour there. So if you check first, find the technical bulletin, for me that should always be the first stage of your diagnosis. But I've had a look and there's no technical bulletin, so you need to have a look at the turbo and see what's going on there, see if there's anything clear. As it's a mechanical fault rather than sort of open circuit or anything electrical, I'm hoping we might see something. We might just need to strip a few things down, just see what's going on with the turbo, see what's going on with the actuator. Okay, so that was all quite obvious. So this is the actuator for the turbo, and on there you should have a rod that's sort of connected onto it and then goes to the wastegate. However, that shouldn't be sitting down like that. That should be connected to the actuator up here, sort of like a ball joint, I guess, almost like a gas strut on your boot, if you imagine that. So I'm going to see if it's damaged, or if I can hopefully stick it back on and then take it for a big long drive and recheck it afterwards to see if it stays on there. If not, it may need a new turbo actuator. Okay, so on closer inspection, we're not going to be able to pop it back on, because if you can see there, see that crack down there? So essentially on the actuator it's like a little ball joint that pops into there, and then you've got a clip, it's like a C-shaped clip that wraps around here and holds it in place. But that clip is cracked, so it's not holding any tension on there. Zoom in a bit. So that crack down there, just on the right hand side you can see. So it's not holding any tension, so I can't actually pop it back on. So I'm going to have a look. Hopefully you can just get that clip on its own, because that's really all it needs. It shouldn't need the whole actuator, but hopefully you should be able to get that clip either genuine, or I'm sure you'll be able to get a clip there somewhere. But yeah, I'll have a look, and fingers crossed we can get one, pop it on with a new clip and save the customer a lot of money. So we're back now with the Caddy, the one that I came to do on Monday that I couldn't do. So we're here to do a service and 2 front lower arms. I actually I did another job on it a couple of weeks ago, and when I was on test drive I noticed a horrible, really loud knocking noise coming from the front. So I had a quick look into that and found the bushes on the wishbones are just pretty much non-existent. So the arm itself, when you're braking, the arms are moving backwards and forwards. So we're going to swap those out today, do the service. I'll just show you what we're dealing with here with the lower arm. So the bush is back there. This is your lower arm going down here to the ball joint, and that bush there, I can actually, if I grab hold of the disc, I can pull it and you can see the play. So you can see the play there, and that's just from me grabbing hold of the disc and pulling it. So you can imagine how much it was moving and knocking and banging while driving. So we're going to change out these lower arms that come with the new bushes anyway, and then I should be driving them a lot nicer. I've taken out that back bolt already, so I have to get a bit of heat on there as well because it's quite tight. There's a nut on the end of it. I've got that one out. Just got that bolt there, and then we've got 3 nuts to take off here, just on the lower ball joint. You should be able to sort of pull it down and pull the arm out and replace it. See the state of the bush here, look. It's moving it. Back push that through to be fair. Well, that bush wasn't doing anything, was it? We've got a nice new arms to go in. We're using Delphi. Use a lot of Delphi steering and suspension components. From the quality on these, they're really good, to be completely honest with you. I haven't had one yet where I've had any issues with. So yeah, I'm going to bang that in now and then get everything torqued up to spec and then do the other side. Well, that's the lower arms all done. Now we've just got the service to do. So I've just got a man oil filter, pollen filter, and a BGA sump plug. So same process with the last video on that Jaguar F-Pace. Oil filters down there. So I'm going to take off the C30, get this whole bracket out of the way, and then it's a 32mm down there. So same as before, I'm going to undo the oil filter, just loosen it off but not take it out. That'll allow all the oil to drain down into the sump, and then I know that I've got all the old oil out, and then I can drain the oil from underneath. Okay, oil and filter's done, all the inspection is done. So measure the tyres and brakes and suspension, checked all the suspension and steering components. We've just got the pollen filter to do, so this one's nice and simple. Some of our other cover under that you just got to whip off, but this one hasn't got one. So you just got this panel here, just slide it along like that. Whip your filter off. See, that hasn't been changed for a while, has it? So get a nice new filter in there and just do a bit of paperwork, and then that's the service all done. Right, so we're back with the Audi A4. It's the end of the week. This is the one with the rod for the turbo actuator that's hanging around down there. So the clip basically it just broke, completely snapped in half. And I did manage to find a couple of new clips, which is nice. So we're going to try and put one of these clips on and see if it holds it, which will save the customer a lot of money rather than getting the whole actuator. So we'll see how we get on. Look at that. Lovely that is. Yeah, a couple of clips. Well, they're giving a pack of 2. I think it cost me about a £5. So that's looking very good. So I'm going to take that for a drive, make sure the turbo is operating as it should be, and yeah, nice quick repair. Very happy with that. Just before driving it, what we can also do is to make sure that actuator is working, go into basic settings, and over here you can test the charge air pressure actuator, click on that, and then when I press start we should see the actuator move. So if I just press start now, see that moving there. So when we go on the drive, on the road test, that should be moving backwards and forwards as it should be as well. And the rod's not coming off, so yeah, I'd say that's a job well done. And that is the end of the second video. Nice little way of rounding it off, I guess. Going back to that A4, getting that all sorted. I'm quite happy about that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, by all means give it a like or a comment. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And if there's anything else, if you've got any feedback, whether it's good or negative, whatever, just leave it in the comments. If there's any other jobs that you'd like to see me do, and if there's anything specific like timing belt or brakes or anything like that, again just put it in the comments. I'll have a look, and I'll try and get some videos of yeah, some specific jobs that you'd like to see. But yeah, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please share it around, show your friends and your family, and yeah, thanks for watching.